I'm Rolly Hoyt, joined by Charles King and J.R. Davis. We want to talk about the race for the top spot on the state Supreme Court Chief Justice position. It's kind of like I've had it described as the chief executive of the judicial branch, which is two branches together, but that I digress. It's also a runoff race because a lot of people not paying much attention to it in the Super Tuesday elections that we had here, but we end up with two candidates that all of a sudden ended up at odds this summer. I get the sense that now that Justice Karen Baker and Justice Rhonda Wood, those are two names that they thought this might be a mundane vote, gentlemen, but all of a sudden, as you follow closely what's been going on with the ballot questions up there before the court and what managed to make it onto the ballot, this turned pretty heated.
Well, we have to admit first that in the average election, nobody pays attention to judges' races.
Right.
They're restricted on how they can campaign, what they can and cannot say, so people just tend to turn away from them. But this one has been just a little bit different.
And there's also been some heat and like accusing each other of going before getting their behavior or battle.
It's like a CBS drama.
It is.
But yeah, no, I do think that there's this particular race, and I agree, the primary, you're talking about three justices running against each other. You had another one, there's four candidates. No one has enough resources statewide to get their name out. So you have to be strategic in how you use those resources. But again, there's not enough to cut through. So, really what you're going to see this election are people going to the polls mostly, right, to cast their ballot for who they want to be president. Then they're going to get down that ballot and try to figure out who these two individuals are running for Chief Justice, and it could come down to just ballot positioning.
Well, no, it really came before even the primary in the filings. We could have had the first African American on the Supreme Court in Arkansas had the filings been a little different, but that didn't happen, so the excitement that could have been there has been wiped away by that.
But the voters could be doing their research and see what happened when the petition to try and expand abortion access in the state ended up there with Justice Wood writing for the majority by coincidence, by random draw, and Justice Baker on the opposite side and coming out with a scathing dissent saying that the majority had written up into the law out of whole cloth stuff that wasn't there. This is the kind of animosity we're getting more used to at the U.S. Supreme Court level at this point.
Yeah, and I think in a race like this, there's probably about as much contrast as you're going to get. But again, it's about resources and trying to get that message to the voters. They just don't have that, and I think the real winner on election night is going to be Governor Sanders because regardless, she's going to get two appointments.
She gets the appointment.
So,
that's correct.
Yeah.
She could have a chance to reappoint a new state secretary of
right.
State, two positions on the state Supreme Court. Indeed.
Let's put our money on the fact that she's going to give us the opportunity to have that black Supreme Court justice after all.